In 2008, we had a problem because of debt. Since then, the debt has skyrocketed everywhere in the world. So unless you think we're not ever going to have problems again, the next one's going to be worse. And you will find it can get worse. People say it can get worse. Throughout history, staggering economic difficulties at times, but Europe too. Some of the largest banks in the world went bankrupt in previous economic hard times. Some companies that people never thought could go bankrupt. 6 months ago, the United States was the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. Never had anybody been so deep in debt. Everybody wants to be reelected. So they're doing everything they can to be reelected, but it is leaving a very, very bad aftertaste. But right now, there's another one called More Money Today, MMT. Give me some money, more money, free money. And then along came the virus and popped the bubble. No, we haven't had any gigantic problems yet, but the debt is building up everywhere. As the turmoil gets worse, as the bear market worldwide gets worse in the next, I don't know when, few months from now, gold is not a currency. I know that there are people who think it is. It's certainly at Kitco, but you cannot walk into McDonald's and buy a hamburger with gold. We always look for easy solutions when things get bad. If there's a theory lying around, they say, oh, let's try that. Let's try that for a while. That's what More Money Today will be, MMT. They will try that. But in the end, people like me have always turned to gold and silver in times like this. Gold is not worth it. Gold is a barbarous relic. That's what they call it. Maybe, but peasants like me throughout history know that gold and silver, okay, it may be a barbarous relic, but I'm going to own it. It was the money system. It's not now, but still, it is a way where politicians will lose control. I mean, in 1971, Richard Nixon said we have to stop using gold, and he did. All of us peasants know, we may not have studied economics at an Ivy League university, but we know that when you print money and borrow money, subconsciously we know this leads to problems. And so more and more of us are turning to gold and silver. Yeah, this could turn into a huge bubble, and gold and silver could go much, much higher. I expect them to go much, much higher before this is over. The U.S. stock market's at all-time highs as we speak. There are bubbles developing in the U.S. stock market. So if it continues up and then Biden wins, I suspect we'll have a difficult time in 2021. You would stay with what you know and you would become a successful investor. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, whether it's fashion or cars or sports or something. Don't just say, oh, that's going to be great. Go and you do your research and you figure out how to and if you should invest and how to invest, and then you invest. You will know it long before I will, or long before other people in the investment community. You will also know when to sell, because you will know when something's going to change again. The second advice is don't listen to hot tips. Stay away from hot tips. I didn't know that people had different styles. I didn't know that wouldn't work for me, but eventually I found by trial and error, I was less bad at, but I was reasonably good at, and so I found my way. The style picks you or you pick the style. For me, it was trial and error. If you read the notes to the annual report, you do more than 98% of the people investing. This is not easy. Everybody looks on TV and they say, oh, I could have bought Apple. Maybe they could have, but they didn't, because it's not easy. So you have to do your homework. You have to research. You have to do the balance sheet. You have to understand the numbers. How do I do it? I don't. By now, I've done it, hundreds, thousands of times. So yeah. I have a little bit of experience. I have a little bit of self-knowledge and experience. And so I look at things that I maybe didn't know about before. But I used to be a professor, and I explained to them, you have to understand the numbers, first of all, but then you have to understand the competition. You have to understand everything. This is not easy. I wish it were. And I thought I perceived a change taking place in the Kremlin. And that's the second word you need to understand: cheap and a positive change. So if you can find something that's cheap and a positive change, you're probably going to get very rich. I found my niche. I found what I loved. I found what I was good at. Figure out what you love the most, whatever it is. And if people laugh at you, you're probably really right. You're probably really doing the right thing. Just find your own passion. If you say, I want to be a gardener, you do it. You go and become a gardener, because if you love it, you'll never go to work. You'll wake up every day and have fun. You'll be the happiest person around. It won't matter if you're successful because you're happy, but you will be successful, because those are the people who are the most successful. And I started realizing a key for me was to find something cheap that was changing. I learned that if I understood the numbers and I understood what was going on, I was to be ahead of other people. It wasn't easy, but it turned out I loved it. But it wasn't because I realized I was on it. I realized because I loved it so much. This is not an easy way to make money or to even make a living. So it takes a lot of work, like most things in life.